try to, bottle a country's energy?
That's a good question.
Well, today's deep dive, we're getting pretty close. We're diving into Singapore, and we're using your research from, let me see, okay. And, it's remarkable how this island nation pulls off being both a futuristic wonderland and a cultural time capsule all in one.
It really is a fascinating study in contradictions. It's a nation that's incredibly deliberate in everything, from those iconic skyscrapers to its green spaces. It's all so intentional.
Okay, so speaking of, when I see these pictures of gardens by the bay, it's like someone said, let's make a sci-fi movie set, but with, way more orchids. You know what I mean? Those super trees are unbelievable. Were they always in the plan?
Well, you might be surprised to learn that even though it's this bustling metropolis, Singapore is recognized as one of the greenest cities in all of Asia.
Yeah.
And that's no accident. Gardens by the Bay. Perfect example of how they've quite literally woven this whole green vision right into the city itself. And these aren't just some pretty plants we're talking about. Those super trees are actually super sophisticated vertical gardens.
Really?
Oh yeah. They're designed to generate solar power with this whole canopy of solar cells up top. And they even collect rainwater for irrigation. So they're both beautiful A&D, incredibly practical.
It's like they said, okay, let's build a botanical garden, but let's make it a marvel of engineering while we're at it. Speaking of architectural marvels, though, we got to talk about that instantly recognizable silhouette of Marina Bay Sands, the one with that gravity-defying infinity pool. Come on, it just screams ambition. What would drive Singapore to invest in such a, let's be honest, luxurious and ambitious project?
It's definitely a statement, right? Marina Bay Sands really embodies Singapore's emergence as a global powerhouse. It's like a beacon to the world, showing off their economic strength and, just their sheer innovative spirit. And much like Gardens by the Bay, it's not just about the spectacle. Step inside, and you've got a world-class art museum, a cutting-edge science museum. There's even a canal running through a shopping mall, like a little slice of Venice. They've really gone all out to create this curated experience designed to, captivate a global audience.
Okay, so we've got futuristic gardens, we've got these insane architectural wonders, but what about the heart and soul of Singapore? How can a place so focused on being ahead of the curve also preserve its past? How does a historic district like Chinatown not only survive, but thrive in this kind of environment?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Chinatown really speaks to Singapore's commitment to preserving its heritage. Imagine this. You're walking down the street, and you've got these beautifully preserved traditional shop houses standing shoulder to shoulder with trendy cafes. And all of this is happening under the watchful gaze of ancient temples like the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple, which, by the way, is an absolute masterpiece of Buddhist architecture.
So it's not just for tourists, it's really a living, breathing part of the city. Oh, absolutely. Just picture this. You're strolling through the streets of Chinatown, centuries-old temples all around you, and you stop for a minute to enjoy a perfectly modern bubble tea. It's that kind of juxtaposition that makes Singapore so compelling. You have generations of families carrying on their traditions, from hawker stalls serving up that amazing street food to the festivals that bring the community together. It's living, breathing proof that progress and tradition don't have to be at odds with each other. They can exist and even thrive together.
And speaking of incredible cultural experiences, let's shift gears from the serenity of those temples and transport ourselves to Little India. I'm picturing vibrant colors, the aromas of spices in the air, the sounds of celebrations happening all around. It's like stepping into a completely different world, isn't it? You're spot on. Little India is an absolute feast for the senses. It's a sensory explosion. But more than that, it's a testament to the incredible diversity of Singapore's cultural tapestry. This is where generations of the Indian community have kept their traditions alive and thriving. You can find authentic shops overflowing with everything from spices and silks to the most beautiful, intricate jewelry, all while the air vibrates with Bollywood music and the scent of those fragrant jasmine garlands.
Wow. So what's the takeaway here? We've explored this nation that seems to defy easy categorization. Singapore is this futuristic utopia, a cultural melting pot, and a model of sustainability, all rolled into one.
And that's what makes it so compelling, right? This carefully curated nation leaves us with a thought-provoking question. Given what we've learned about Singapore's incredibly intentional approach to its own development, what are the challenges, and maybe even more interestingly, the opportunities of creating this kind of meticulously curated experience on a national scale?
It's definitely something to think about as you and everyone listening continues to explore Singapore because, let's be real, this deep dive was just scratching the surface. Until next time, happy travels.